Think about the word precision. Precision is being exact and accurate. Isn't that what you want when it comes to electrical? Precision Electric in Salina brings exact and accurate quality to electrical jobs in central Kansas since 2003. Precision Electric's focus on quality and performance, combined with their experience and dedication, creates a winning set of finished products which saves their customers money. Precision Electrical Contractors is looking for licensed journeyman electricians as well as apprentice electricians. Apply online at pecsalina.com.
Hello and welcome into the Coach Ron O'Neill Show as we talk Salina Liberty football. It's another Victory Tuesday here as we are at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, the family fun center, of course, that surrounds our favorite little sports bar right now. Every Tuesday we come in here, drinks are around, people playing some pool, families in here getting down on some pizza. Tuesdays are also magical here at AJ's in the Alley because it's buy one, get one free pizzas. You can do 6-inch, 12-inch, 16-inch, or our favorite, the 29-inch pizza. You buy one, you get one free.
Go big or go home.
Just a great time here at AJ's in the Alley. I want to welcome you in for another Victory Tuesday. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
First ballot Hall of Famer Coach Ron O'Neill in the IFL and the current head coach of the Salina Liberty. 54-25, you get the big victory on Saturday. But, man, just an overall exciting weekend. Just kind of the anticipation and the build-up for that first home game in 30 days almost. It's been a month since you were at home.
Wow.
Having the wife in town, just Memorial Day weekend, the start of summer. How was your weekend? Had to be pretty good, right?
It was it was good. My wife was here. That made it great. But I did something I never did before, which is called an offensive game in arena football. So that was very difficult. Yeah. I'll say it that way because it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. And just very happy to have people that are veterans into the game that understand the game, both games. Indoor is different than arena football. So to have people, like Chuck that's here, have people like D. Wash that are here that have played in both. I played arena football, and it was just cool to just kind of see what worked, what didn't work. Like I said, I don't lose, I learn lessons. And what I learned from Billings is I needed to make a change there. So we did make a change that I am now offensive and defensive coordinator like I usually have been since I've been here. But it was a lot that went with it, as well as, a lot of stress that I put on a lot of other people that I realized after the game. It was happening in real time, but I figured it out. We went to dinner with some owners and everything, and I had Coach Martinez there. Coach Martinez is like I said, everybody know that. Everybody know me that we come together. We are a joint package. We come together. But I just seen him be a different person. And when he's not the happy, fun-loving person, there's a problem because he's the most positive person I've ever met in my life. And we were having some issues there. But just to see, how all of these different things that has happened since October to now has taken its toll, taken its effect of him, we've made some adjustments. So that's why I said I don't just – we lost that game, and we got our butts kicked very good. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Billings. But it was a gift is what I look at it as because it showed me what I needed to do as a head coach. It showed Coach Martinez what he needed to do as an assistant head coach. And we did bring in Coach Sean King to help us as a coach as well. That was the head coach for Rapid City, and he was the head coach for Billings last year. And one of the greatest players to ever play arena football. He was part of a team that went undefeated for a season with Quad City and etched their name in the record books to go. I think they were 18-0 that year. So to add him, to bring, all of us together, we're still learning each other, but to just see the trials and tribulations that this has taken on my coaching staff, not just me, but just my coaching staff and what I needed to do to make this thing right, is the thing that I was the most happiest with and the most satisfied with, besides my wife being here. That's always a good thing. So
it's funny you brought that up because I know contrary to what people think, because the show's so good, right? We don't show prep. I don't call you on a Tuesday morning and go, hey, Coach O, what are we talking about today? Sometimes you are busy, you are on the phone. Sometimes you hang up that phone, we sit down, boom, here we go. We're live, right?
Right.
So it's funny you bring that up because that was one of my first questions for you about the game, other than how your weekend was and all that, was just the game in general. The first thing I wanted to ask you was, how was it being on the field, offense and defense? You weren't getting your steps in like you usually do because you're just staying out there the whole time. Hopefully somebody was bringing you some water and Jimmy was doing his job, but it had to feel a little bit different. But, man, that offense just kind of looked good.
Yeah, when you have a quarterback like Charles McCullum that has played in both styles of the indoor and arena, and he has records in both leagues, all we had to do was just get on the same page. That's kind of what I learned from Billings. We wasn't on the same page. It was kind of a clutter. And Chuck is a little different. He ain't regular. He from Atlanta, so he's a little bit different. And everything is shouty. Everything is shouty. So once I got over that and understood kind of how he talk, how he act, how he move. But it was the night before the game, Nisha put together a dinner. We got the Cajun chicken and fries, and I got a chance to know who Charles McCullum is. I've known him from afar. Yes, he's been on the team, but I wasn't offensive coordinator, so I didn't want to step on toes. So I didn't really talk the way I need to talk. But we gained a rapport there. In camp, we were talking mildly because I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but I think that piece right there of all those things culminating together helped us out. Moving Coach back over to defense now is going to be something that's going to be pretty good because he's a DB just like I am. So I just think everything had to organically take its toll. And that's what I feel these first 4 games have been. And, yeah, that's great. We're 3-1. But if you really knew all the things that we do behind the scenes to make it that way and to put ourselves in good situations to do that, it's a lot of work. And what I found out is just understanding the toll that I carry. I carry a lot, and my owners carry the biggest toll in Burton. But, my coaches, and that's what I learned. And then to get the rapport with Chuck and understand him as a person and kind of what makes him move, how he think, and start we already has a relationship, but it was from afar because he was always with the other team, and I had to always game plan against him, and they were always tough. But now we're on the same page, and we can game plan together. And, Coach, he's on defense now, but he still helps out on offense because he's been around so long. So I just think this week was magical, and I just think it was the turning point of our season, and people may not see it that way, but me internally looking, I think it truly was.
Now that the lines of communication are open between you and quarterback one, how much do you entrust him with kind of bringing his ideas and what he wants to do? Because obviously he knows what works for him. He knows what he's comfortable with. He knows what can really move the football down the field. It just, again, it seemed like in this game, your first drive was 4 plays. Then you have a pick 6 from D-Trey. Then you get it back, and then you go down the field again. And it's boom, 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 boom. It never really felt like you guys took steps back. There was a couple penalties you were able to overcome, and you were never in a spot where it was 3rd and long, 4th and long. You just kept moving the ball down the field and getting the yardage that you needed to get. So how much do you entrust him in that? And he says, hey, here's what I've done in the past. This is what I really like. This is what I do not get stopped doing, things like that, because we know the cast around him too.
I say we're in the infant stage of that. The thing that I didn't know about Chuck is he's accepting to being coached. When you have a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, you don't know what to expect. You know he put up numbers in all these different leagues and everything. But what Chuck has done is basically say, Coach, what you want to do it. Just let me know. And then we could kind of go through it together. So, yes, do we have some plays that he made him famous? Absolutely. But he's a player that can adapt to any situations contrary to different thoughts that's out there in the league or whatever. I don't have any issues with Chuck. He's been a pleasure to coach, and just his energetic approach of how he comes to practice to work every day. He don't come just to be like, hey, I'm here. No, he's coming to get better, and he tests his receivers. I like that. It reminded me a lot of what Dixon used to do when I was in Billings, how he would put his receivers out there and give them the opportunity to make plays in practice to just see what they really got. So when we get in the game, he knows how to do all of that. He's a master at that. And he's worked with Billy Back, who's a legendary coach that's coaching now in the IFL, that they've won 3 titles together, and, you know, they put miraculous numbers together. I think they player coach 10 years. So I'm not trying to change who he is. All I'm trying to do is learn him and incorporate a game plan that's conducive with what he does and put us in the best spot to win football games.
Let's talk about this offense. Other than Charles McCollum, which you've been talking about, he had 4 touchdowns in this game. No turnovers. That was the biggest thing that needed to be fixed from Billings. But he also was able to spread the ball out, too. 2 second-quarter touchdowns to Demarius Washington. He also had a touchdown to Fast Ed. He also had a touchdown, which might have been the highlight play of the game just because of the way it was ended by Otis Odom. And, I mean, Otis is 5'5" on the roster. He dove 6 yards into the end zone and landed 2 yards past the goal line.
I've never – and my wife asked, Anisha asked him at the after party, like, do you tumble? Do you do – he's like, no. And he was like, I just thought dude was going to catch me, so I just dove. And he dove like 6 yards. So to see that, if you haven't seen it, go to Salina Liberty Facebook page and check out our reels. Katie's doing a great job there where you'll see him catch the play and just explode away from everybody. He's a guy, Otis, that every opportunity we've given to him, he's exploded. He's a very explosive football player. I remember getting his information and showing it to Coach Martinez, and we started kind of just looking like, man, we can do this. We can do all these different things. And just to have him out there, and as you see from kickoff returns in the first game, he had like almost 140-something yards and just kick return yards. That was the only opportunity he really got to play. Then when we go this game, he was like the second or third leading receiver. So his role is growing because his confidence with the coaching staff to call different things for him and how explosive he is. And then his what makes it even better is his personality. He don't say much. He go by 007, Lil O.
Yeah.
He asked me in the beginning, can I get number 7? I was like, hold on, let's break training camp first, and we'll figure all this stuff out. But he is definitely 007. Yeah. I mean, this cat right here is just like a genie in a bottle, and he can make something. That was a 3-yard pass play.
Yeah.
That went for almost 25, 30 yards.
And he outran the angle, too. There's a guy that had the angle on.
See, you're a football connoisseur. So that is what got him signed with us. When I showed it to Coach Martinez was like, he is outrunning angles.
Yes.
And when you can outrun angles, I don't care where you play at. If you outrun angles,
in indoor
you can
football.
play for me. And Littlefield.
Yeah.
And he still did it, and he, again, was untouched.
Yeah.
So very, very happy with him.
It's crazy because just from up high looking down, he reminds me, and I'm not saying this because of the height, because that'd be just low-hanging fruit, but it's DC all over again. It's Dominic Carson, where he's on kick return, or you can put him in as receiver, or he's over here doing the – I mean, you kind of get that vibe where it is just – I mean, it's a spark, and there's a whole can of gas over here just waiting for that spark to go off, and he's capable of doing that. We've seen him – I was impressed with him maybe more so at Billings because there were a couple of those balls off the net that were trouble. and he ends up getting back to the 10, to the 5, but still kind of saved face there and really bailed everything out.
Oh, yeah, and give us the field position that we need off of those kick returns. So, yes, he hasn't had the big win in the past couple weeks, but he's doing what the play says. He's not trying to go outside of the scheme. He's following his blockers. He's doing what he needs to do to put us in a good position. The other thing, though, I think we're just it's like an onion. You're peeling back the different layers. We're at the very beginning stages with him because I know me as offensive coordinator, I'm thinking of different things of how to use them, and I just think that we're at the tip of the iceberg of what we're getting ready to get from him. He's about to really, really explode. Not to say he hasn't exploded already. Anytime he touches the ball, he's a threat to go to the house. And when you have a ball player like that, you got to find ways to get him the football. And I think we're doing a pretty good job as a staff to figure all those things out. And adding Coach Sean King on offense, we're working to try to figure everything out and get him caught up first and then start putting and incorporating some different things. But he's a player. Otis is a guy that, you know, he don't cry about playing time. He don't let, like we always say, don't count your reps, let your reps count. He's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Tracy Brooks found the end zone twice on rushing touchdowns on carries. You found a way to get him some carries, especially in the scoring spot in the green zone, and he was able to get both of those in. It was good to see him kind of get back to being the guy and taking those handoffs and just, you know, contact doesn't matter a whole lot. He's still going to get there, isn't he?
Oh, he's a dog. I mean, he's one that, I mean, you give him the football and you just basically just get in front of somebody. He's going to figure a way. He has a nose for the end zone. And then the thing that I love about him more so this year, he had 11 catches against Nashville. I think he had like 6 or 7 in this game. Like, he's doing everything we asked of him to do. He's playing on Coach Martinez. We had a couple things happen. Coach Martinez had him on kickoff team, which we don't really do, but he doesn't complain. That's what I love about this football team. We don't complain about things that we have no control over, because we could complain about a lot of different things, but we don't. And we've been dealt a bad hand sometimes. We don't cry about it.
Right.
We play the game the way it needs to be played. Our ownership don't cry about it. They step up and do the things they need to do to make sure our players are happy and content with being here. So I think we're on that's why I said this week was special to me, not just yes, wife was here, love that. But I'm starting to see things starting to come together, and when you see that, a lot of good things can happen for the Salina Liberty.
We'll stick with the offense here and round out this segment since we're on that subject. How do you feel your offensive line played? And also I'm going to layer that with another one. How do you feel your blocking game was? You talked about Tracy in that you ran a screenplay a couple of different times where he's all the way out on the right-hand side. He gets flow to the ball, and then he comes all the way back across the field. And I thought at least twice that play was blocked extremely well, but it was everybody involved. It wasn't just the linemen.
Yeah, it's receivers, because if you look at the play, Otis is probably the smallest guy in the league. He made the block to spring him.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you like about this football team, that everybody is starting to buy in. Once they understand the scheme, then they can start believing in the scheme. And you could never have that in the first 2 games. It takes time. And I just think that, you know, with the players that we have, we haven't made many transactions as we went forward. And that's a testament to what Coach Martinez and I did with recruiting. So basically we're building around what we already have and putting them in positions to make plays. So, yes, that wasn't just the line, because the line you can see Debo made a huge block, Kelvin McCoy, to the second layer of it. But the first layer of it was Otis making the block.
Yeah.
And then he cut all the way across, and then everybody else came. Pika came, and everybody came. So, I mean, that's the thing that I love the most, is everybody's starting to buy into what we're doing. Offensive line, our fullbacks, our receivers, that is I want the ball, but I'm not going to block. We don't have any of that, because I've had teams where that was a thing where I ain't blocking on no run game or screen. I just want to catch the football. I want to just run routes. And we didn't win very many games doing it that way, but I just think with our leadership of what we have, you know, you got Facet, you got D-Wash, and you got Tracy, guys that have played in big-time games, played in 3-4 championships in a row. They understand how to get their players ready to go at their position. But you do have Debo, Kelvin McCoy, that gets his offensive line and defensive line together. This week we'll have Travis back, so just rest him. He could have played this week, but rest him for this week so he could be good and fresh and ready to go for Dodge City. The leadership of this team player-wise, like I always say, the Magnificent Seven plus one. Mm-hmm. So it's the Magnificent Seven, and then plus one is Chuck McCullum. Yeah. So we have great leadership, but it all starts with our ownership group. If we didn't have them and how they incorporate team first and your word means something, it reminds me a lot of how my dad raised me. And his word meant something. When he said he was going to do it, he did it. And our organization is stepping up and going beyond the call of duty to make sure our players are taken care of financially, emotionally, physically, all of these different things. If it wasn't for them, none of this would be possible.
Love it. That's a good finish to the first break. We will go into just a couple of minutes. We'll step away. When we come back, we'll talk about the defense and also some special teams in this 54-25 victory over the Regulators of Wichita. We'll also get you set up and see what Coach's thoughts are on the game coming up this weekend as he returns back to Dodge City to take on the Southwest Kansas Storm. The Coach O Show is brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics. Right now, in the month of May, and you got a couple of days left, 20% off all skincare and sunscreen products. That's at Salina Medical Aesthetics. They're a proud presenter of the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. We're back with more of the Coach O Show from AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, after this break on Salina Post.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Duralast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell! That awful smell! What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
Back at the Coach Ron O'Neill Show, AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. We do it every Tuesday here on Salina Post. We always invite you to come on down. Boy, the place is about packed here tonight. You got some guys down here, some players, and Roy Lawrence is here, of course. Coach Martinez, I see Demarius Washington over there shaking about everybody's hand that he can get to. So
Coach King is here.
Yeah, Coach King is here. We'll have to get him on here soon and get to know him a little bit. That's exciting. He's here. But just talking about the victory on Saturday here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, 54-25, and time to turn the page and just kind of talk about your defense, Coach. And well, this is a defense that was solid, I thought, all game long. They were opportunistic. You got 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. One of them right out of the gate by Dontre Matthews after you scored your first touchdown. Just kind of seemed like right out of the gate you were up 12-0, and that felt good.
Absolutely, especially first game ever again, calling offense when you can get 2 defensive touchdowns. That always helps. But our defensive backs, our 2 specialists, if it's 2 other specialists that's in the league that's playing better than them 2, I would like to see them. True, we took our bumps and bruises there in Billings, and they did what they need to do up there, and we'll see them again. But I like what we have back there. Freddie is a guy that, from the beginning, he's one of our first guys we signed, and I just knew, just looking at his film of what I had envisioned for him, when I get a chance to actually talk with him and kind of pick his mind and kind of see some of the people, because I don't take it against him that he went to Eastern Michigan and I went to Western Michigan. I don't hold that against him.
I was going to ask.
There's no grudge there. There isn't. But the way he can pedal, the way he recognize routes, the way he plays the ball in the air, his hands, his playmaking ability, he's playing great for us. D-Trey is right there with him, is the vet that is playing defensive back at a very high clip for us, making tackles, running down on special teams, doing things that, he really didn't have to do for us before, but with us being in this new league and everybody's level of play has stepped up, the personnel has stepped up, the different coaches you go against have stepped up. Mm-hmm. We have to step our game up, and just a great job, by Coach Martinez adding those 2 to our special teams and helping us out there. But the front, Kellogg is a guy that comes to mind that is making plays all over the place. Every game, I think he's had a sack or just tremendous pressure.
He was a menace in this game. I mean,
yes.
We talked about him a lot, especially in the second half. He was phenomenal, I thought.
Yeah, he's a guy that, again, we got a lot of guys that don't say much, which is cool with me. I don't like all that loudness and all that stuff, but he don't say much, but he's very smart analytically. Yeah. Foster is a guy that kind of, that D-line, they go through the different drills and stuff, and just them understanding how to play defensive line. They've had some great coaches. I'm not going to take any credit for any of that. But them 2 together. But the thing that I think that really set us up is Tappa, moving him from offensive line to nose guard. He was a menace inside of there, too, and it was just amazing.
It's like you have my sheet of questions.
My bad. Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
I did. Yeah,
yes, but you bring up a lucky topic. I mean, he was, from what Liberty fans know him, for a couple of seasons on the offensive line.
Yep.
And I saw him, especially to start out in this game, he was getting a good push inside. How's his transition and how's his progression going so far on defense?
He's another one that don't care whatever side of the ball. I remember on the bus coming back from Billings, and Coach and I always sit together. We kind of start discussing and figuring out things because we were already recruiting and stuff. And I asked him what he thought, and he was like, Coach, I think you could do it at this and that. So moving him to nose guard was something that, no offense to anybody that played it before him, but he played it a little bit different because he brings quickness, power, lateral ability to get up and down the field, and a motor that just don't stop. Yeah. And he's playing at a very, very high clip. And he was already playing at the first 3 games on the offensive line, playing at a very high clip. I think this league has showcased his talent to a whole different level. And I'm so thankful that, Hidden Gems is a agency that I use to get, different football players, and to get him from there. He's been with us now. This is his 3rd year. But to the whole both sides plan, he has picked his game. The first 2 years he was very, very strong, but he's taken it to another stratosphere. But I just want to give a shout out to Hidden Gems for what they've done, and the relationship we have with them, and how they do business, and how we could call them for football players. They know how to showcase their football players. For one, they have it all broken down, ready to go. So all you got to do is look at it, boom, okay, I like that. So to have him, but he's a guy that's selfless. He doesn't care about the glory. He cares about the work, the grunt work. And I'm just so happy that, he did come back for us this year. But I think what he's doing right now is increasing his market of showing that he can do it on both sides of the football to all those teams that's at the next level, NFL, CFL, UFL now. This is a type player that you would definitely want to take a look at and understand what he can bring to a football team. And then the thing about it, Coach Martinez plays them on special teams too. So we definitely getting our money out of Tappa.
Yeah.
And I just want to give him a shout out because as a nose guard doesn't get much pub unless he actually makes the sack or the tap. But he had many pressures, many things that he did really, really well for us on the offensive side of the ball first 3 weeks, but also on the defensive side of the ball. And Foster is another one that is starting to pick it up and understand what's going on, making plays left and right. And he had numerous pressures all over the field, and we know that without the pressure, DBs can't get pick six. But I would be a fool to sit here and not mention Kerry Starks. Kerry is a guy that's taught me a lot about the arena football game, all the different things you can do, how you do it, why you do it. The why is what I'm more interested in. And, I mean, it's my 19th year and I'm still learning. And I've always been a big proponent of a guy that if you're going to be coaching or living life in general, if you think you know everything, you know nothing. You always want to continue to learn. And he's pressed my envelope of learning different things and how to do things different ways and, you know, helping me out with recruiting and things of that nature that, you know, he's come in with a flock of people that if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have these guys. So being that leader that didn't know we were going to have and didn't know if we were going to be able to count on that or things like that. So very, very excited about what Kerry brings to the game as well. So I want to give love to the guys that don't get the love. And you see the guys getting the pick sixes and the tips and all of that. That's great. But without that pressure up front, none of that is possible. So I want to just make sure that they get the love they deserve as well.
Tell me about Starks, because I know he was a guy that you were super excited to get just because of all the things that you just said. Where did he come from, and how did that develop to where you were able to get him here in Salina?
Well, the thing that's kind of crazy is D-Trey, after I think it was last year or the year before, he gets an opportunity to play in the IFL. That's who's the linebacker, Starks.
Okay.
So that's how we first heard of him, seeing what he did up there. He was, I forget what team it was, but 2023, the NAL Defensive Player of the Year. And he was been telling me about him, but was a lot of other things that we needed to get adjusted and figure out. But once we made the move to get him, and his first game was Billings, just trying to get his feet wet and figure out different things. But what he's done with this defense has taken it to the next level. And that's the piece that I love the most, that he's a team player. I get at least 2 or 3 texts from him a day of just different things that he see that I may not see. Yeah. Sometimes we do see it. And then when he gets to explaining different things, he's a lot like me. I'm a fact-orientated type person. I don't want to hear your opinion because everybody got an opinion. I won't say that saying, but we got airwaves we got to be protective of. But he gives facts. And when he mess up, I messed up. Yeah. He ain't going to make no excuse of it and things of that nature. So to me, he's like a throwback because the younger generation always got excuses of why you can't get things done. And he's a young guy that take a look at him. Like for those who don't know anything about him, take a look at his history and what he's done. And just in 2 years that I've seen, 2 or 3 years of him playing indoor, look at the body of work. He went to Nas, and I think they went to the Final Four last year. So great football player, great leader, but an even better person. That's the thing that I love the most about him, and he's about team. All he wants to do is win. I mean, he kind of it's not to the loudness factor like how Ray Lewis is, but he has that type of leadership qualities, but without being all loud. He don't say nothing, and he speaks like that. But his leadership style is a lot like Ed's, and a lot like Tracy's. They don't say much; they lead more by example. Yep. And when they speak, though, you better pay attention because they're speaking for a reason. It's a point there that he wants you to get. So I'm just loving anytime you could get a leader that you wasn't counting on having on your roster, to be on your roster, that's a blessing in disguise.
It's fun to watch this defense play and function, and to me, it seems like they're getting better and better every game, and I know that I still feel like they're still not there. You're still having some pieces that you're plugging in and some new guys that had their first game with you this past Saturday. And how'd those guys play in your eyes? I know Meta was one of them. I saw a lot of conversations between Martinez and Meta just kind of in and out of the field trying to figure things out because he just got here on Thursday, right? Is that right?
Yeah, he came, that's the thing that's kind of crazy. His first practice was Thursday, and he plays on Saturday, which is amazing. Picked up the playbook for the most part, understanding his role, so to say. Another guy, we have 3 Polynesian players that's on this football team, and they kind of link together, that culture, that whole thing. And he's just like like Pika and the rest of them. Work hard, don't say much. Well, Tappa speaks a little bit more than the rest, but work they butt off, but strive for perfection, but they're motor. That's what's different. Like, it was plays where he would go here and he didn't quit. It was like 4 times that we did that where he would be over here and then make the play over here and things of that nature, and he's going to do nothing but get better.
Yeah.
And I just want to send a shout out to Griff, another agent that I use.
Yeah.
Griff is a guy that, misunderstood by some, but he has a lot of great football players in the NFL, CFL, and I love him to death, and I love hearing his stories of how him and his pops grew up. It reminded me a lot of how my father and I grew up, the conversations and things like that. But we got him, and when he said he can play all these different positions, he didn't lie. And that's the thing that we love. And then a special teams demon, and on top of that he just want to get out there and play, and he just want to hit. Like, it's like I'm Avengers and all that stuff. Hulk say smash. He's one of them type guys like that.
Yeah.
Like, athletic, quick, laterally, straight line, and he's coming to bring pain. And that's the thing that I like. Played him a lot at Mac Backer. Played him at some nose guard. Played DN. He can play offensive line. He can play fullback. He can play every position on our special team. So to have a joker, we call those type players a joker. Coach is definitely having fun with him on special teams, and I'm having fun with him on defense as well as offense.
What's the assessment of special teams in this game? Missed a couple extra points early on, seemed to get that worked out. Shane kind of took off from out there, had a field goal to his credit in this game as well. How'd everything go in the kicking game for you?
I think that we could get better in certain areas. Shane is no longer with us. He's moved on, which much respect. I had nothing but the greatest time with him. Nick, his agent, great agent. Totally understand, got it. No ill will there. Our kickoff coverage team has done a very good job from game 1 to game 4. I think that's a strength of our football team. Our field goal protection unit and snap unit and whole unit, Rio does a great job putting the ball and putting it where it needs to be. I think we've done a really good job there. But again, since the first game, we have not been able to do what we need to do. Kick return, we need to improve on that. And I think that, we have sat down as a staff yesterday, and we started preliminary going through different things of what we're going to do to try to remedy that issue right there. But our kickoff team, our field goal team, and field goal block team, I think, are pretty good. Coach Martinez has done a great job of making sure that they understand their assignment, they understand the technique in which they should be using, and he calls great plays. So we'll get it figured out because we work a lot on it. We truly, truly do. We spend a lot of our practice time going through those different things because, especially in arena, more so than indoor, the special teams is truly a third of the game, and I think we've done a pretty good job, and I think that's kind of what cost us up there in Billings. That kicker is the best kicker in the league.
Yeah.
He made a believer out of me. I mean, footballs or whatever they want to say they are, he bombing them.
Yeah.
He's kicking unos or deuces, whatever they calling them. He made it sure that he made all but 1 or 2 off the net, and it was a factor. So those are things that we're going to work on. We're going to try to figure out. We're going to definitely miss Shane. Shane is a phenomenal kicker. Like I said 2 shows ago, love him to death, and I love his personality. I've never met anybody from Ireland. So I wish him nothing but the best, and he's going to be successful in no matter what team he gets to be with. But we're going to move on, and we got another kicker coming in with some NFL experience. We have he has also kicked in the CFL as well, and he's kicked some indoor as well. So very excited. I don't want to announce it just yet. Let people figure it out, but he'll be here in a minute. So I'm definitely happy that we did get an opportunity to get him as well. So special teams, I think that, yes, it's been a strength of this football team, but it's a certain pieces that we can get better at. And I think it doesn't have anything to do with the scheme. The scheme is sound, and personnel is pretty good. We just got to mix some things around, which it takes time, because when you have different players coming in and out and doing it, it takes time to see what they can and can't do, not just offense and defensively, but what they can help you on special teams-wise. And we're so used to playing CIF and IFL football, Coach Martinez and I, more so IFL football, where you don't put your stars on special teams.
Right.
In this league, it's a little bit different because how you have to travel with your O-line and your D-line and your linebackers and, the size of some of these different people, that now we're starting to figure out, like, man, we really got to play some of our stars on this. So I think that was the learning curve that, I had to go through and figure out. But all I did is I figured it out because Coach Martinez already moved the chess piece. So I didn't do anything. He did all of that. Yeah. So I'm very, very happy with our special teams unit. I just think we're a couple tinkering away from being exactly where we need to be.
3-1 now. You go to Dodge City, play Southwest Kansas, second meeting of the season between you guys. They are sitting at a 2-3 record, I believe. They got a 4-foot win in there, too, for one of those wins. But this is a team that things have changed. Your roster has changed. Their roster has changed since the first week of the season, way back in April. But this is a team I know that you look forward to playing, Dodge, and even though this is the second time you've played them, I know things are just kind of emotionally different for you when you go back to Dodge, too, just because of the time you spent there.
Yeah, I mean, it was for me, it was a reboot for me. It was a very humbling experience. I learned a lot there, though, just by sitting back and reflecting on all the things that was going on in my life. And, I love the IFL, Hall of Famer in the IFL, but taking that step back to come to the CIF, to go to Dodge, I think springboarded what I'm doing with the Salina Liberty. And God don't make mistakes. And he puts you in the spot to do things. You can cry and whine about it, or you can do something about it. And I think that my time there, I met a lot of good people. Coach Sheck is their D coordinator. He was my assistant D coordinator when I was there.
Okay.
Sean Ponder, good. He was a good coach. He knew his thing. He was a head coach there. Just to see Frank Garcia is a guy that –
got to bring Frank up.
Big Frank. Frank going to talk mess. He going to do that. He going to have his cousins talking about my shoes and everything. But it's going to be hard-pressed to talk about my shoes this year because I got them OG ones.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I don't know. You got to come with some different material this time. But Frank is a guy that he's coaching the youth there. He's reached out to me a couple times to kind of just see what and how to incorporate some of the things I've learned into his program that he's doing out there for those kids. So Frank is a friend. Everybody think that we hate each other. We love each other. That's my friend. That's my dog. We're good. His family, we love each other, and we help each other. And it's a mutual respect there. But I understand coming in there, before the game, they're going to love me. Oh, Coach O's back, and, as that game get to going, we trying to beat you, just like it was in Billings. So I get it. I've been there. When you've been around 19 years, some of your friends be turned enemies and come right back to be friends in the same game. So I've learned that. My first time going around doing that, that was difficult. Didn't really understand him. Like, well, why are they booing me? They were just loving me before the game. So, but now I'm like, I get used to it. I figure it out. But I'm looking forward to going back there. I can't wait to see some of my friends, some of the owners there. I know Jamie's a good guy. knows his stuff, and I'm just thankful that he got that ownership group, going in the right direction. He was very pivotal of what we were doing when I was there. So good. I'm gonna be good to see him. Coach Gary's a great football coach. Won, I think, 3 national titles at the JUCO level.
Yeah.
Recruiting good football players, guys that's moving up to the next level. He's figuring this thing out really quick. It wasn't really much figuring. He came in knowing what he was going to do, and he did it. So very excited with the hire that they did bring Gary in. Coach Gary in. I'm not trying to be disrespectful about Gary. Haran, we talk first name basis, but I like him a lot as well. So looking forward to going down there, and we leave a little earlier. It's a game a little early. I think it's either a 1 or 2 o'clock start. We got to get that finalized exactly what time that is.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to going down there to Dodge because that was home for a year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Dodge City, Salina, this Sunday. It will be the first game that we'll have on KINA. We're making the road trip with you.
Okay.
We talked a little bit on the stream, though, Saturday, too. How lucky are we? AFL is coast to coast. It's all over the place. It is spread out. And we got 3 teams right here in Kansas.
Yes.
I mean, we're pretty fortunate to have this centrally located kind of 3 teams between us, Wichita, and Dodge.
Absolutely, and that's one of the pieces why I know our ownership group chose to go with this situation is the travel.
Yeah.
When you can have close proximity games like that, it only helps out with your travel budget, and to have quality football teams. Coach Solo's doing his thing down there in Wichita, getting those players together. Definitely excited with what they're doing. Got my boy Nick down there helping them out down there. Their ownership group is doing their job there. So definitely loving that. And I already spoke on Dodge, and again, our ownership group, it's ownership groups that have more money and maybe have bigger businesses, but how we put ourselves together, how we conduct ourselves, how professional we orientate ourselves, and it trickles down all the way from the top to the bottom, how we hold each other accountable. We don't always see eye to eye. We don't always be hee, ha, ha. We don't. But the thing that I do know is they're going to tell me how they feel about me, and I'm going to tell them how they feel about each other, and we're going to love each other, and we're going to make this thing work because we're going to work together to get what we're trying to get out of this, which is to put us on a pedestal to be a contender every year. You can't win a championship every year. You can't go to the championship every year. But if you're a contender, every year we've been here, that I've been here, we've been a contender. That's all you can really ask for. And with the group of guys that we have in that front office, Sam is doing a hell of a job of doing the things that he's doing. He's doing everything. He's here, there, everywhere, helping coaching. He's passing out tickets and getting food sponsored stuff corrected and, talking to ambulances and things like that. I'm not going to speak on that right now, but I mean, he did that. Like, he is a guy that, yes, he's new to it, and he's learning each and every day of how to do the different things that he's doing. He's going to do nothing but get better as well. But it all starts with our ownership group. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And Salina, the thing that I don't think a lot of them really realize, they put their money where their mouth was more so this year than any year that I've ever been here. Because we could have easily went and reverted back to some whatever. They didn't. And our ownership group, they stood up. They earned the commitment, and what they said they signed for, that's what they get, our football players here. So that is something that I commend them for that, because they could easily say, no, I can't do all that. And we've seen how that works out with the other teams. No offense to them, but every year there are offers on the table for me to go here, there, and everywhere else. If I'm not trying to go, if it ain't NFL, CFL, or UFL, I don't see myself going nowhere else because of the family atmosphere that I have here. It would have to be something very, very special because that's what I have here. Like, I have every owner I have a personal relationship with. It may be different because we got some different owners, but that's the piece that makes it special here. I mean, just when you think, okay, man, we're in major trouble. How are we going to figure this out? They figure it out collectively. And when you can do things like that and put ego to the side, that's the key with having 5 or 6 different owners, because everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
And they count because everything goes to a vote. So how they present the different things, how they conduct themselves with one another is special. It is very special, and I've been a part of some great ownership groups around. Wigley's in the Hall of Fame of what he did in Colorado. That's where I met Coach Martinez at. Mike Parnell, the former CEO and founder of Oakley Sunglasses, that's what I had in Billings. We have everywhere I went, I've had some pretty good owners that know what's going on, but this ownership group is very, very special, and they shine as well, because this has not been an easy thing. It's not been easy for me either. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. For coaches, it's not been easy for the players, but our ownership group stepped up and took care of the things that they need to take care of, that we can coach and players can play.
To me, there's a huge difference between having tunnel vision and forging ahead, right? I mean,
yes.
This ship is forging ahead, and
Absolutely.
It's the ownership group that does it, but don't mistake that for tunnel vision, because they're fully aware of what's going on around them while they forge ahead. And I think what you've said is also the ultimate compliment for them. 54-25, you get your third win of the season. Now 3-1 are the Salina Liberty. You will go to Dodge City and try to get on Sunday. We'll have it for you right here on KINA. We are going to talk to Roy Lawrence next. We're going to get an update on the schedule. I think things look pretty good for the Liberty as long as the schedule gets
Stays
set down
sane.
in stone and we know where to be on any given week. But it looks like a lot of home games coming up, some short road trips that you can get into the schedule. So things look good. We'll talk to Roy about that coming up. Thank you very much, sir.
Again
We will
for having
see you
me.
on Sunday. Coach Ron O'Neill, the first ballot IFL Hall of Famer, head coach of the Salina Liberty. When we come back, Roy Lawrence will join us. We'll get a league update. It's all coming up on the Coach O Show. It's brought to you by the Salina Pain Clinic from AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, here on Salina Post.
It takes hard work, passion, and drive. It takes retraining your mind and your body. But once you do, you can't be stopped. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, here to get you back in the game.
Kansas Wesleyan is proud to be Salina's hometown university. KWU has become the place to be, with enrollment up more than 30% over the past 5 years. Salina supports KWU in many ways, including countless work experience and internship opportunities. We're proud to give back by supporting more than 40 great organizations throughout the region. We can't wait to see what's next for KWU and Salina as we work together to better our community.
Salina Medical Aesthetics wants to help you look and feel your best. Whether it's a simple aesthetic procedure like a hydrofacial, peel, injectable, filler, or a new skincare line, our professional team will customize a personalized plan just for you. Salina Medical Aesthetics is proud to feature Beautifil, a body sculpting procedure that will transform your body with gentle liposuction to slim one area while adding volume to another. Visit us online or call Salina Medical Aesthetics today to set up your free consultation.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
Welcome back to AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's the Coach O Show, brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics and also the Salina Pain Clinic. Time now to get just kind of a league update and an overall overview of what's been going on the last week or two with Roy Lawrence. Roy, glad to have you on, bud. Get that ring out there in front so everybody gets to see it. The biggest thing I think people have on their minds is scheduling and how the schedule's going to fall as things have been talked heavily about the last couple of weeks. Let's first start with Sunday. As I see it and what I've heard in Dodge City, that's a 2 o'clock kick in Dodge City. Is it correct on that? Okay. So a 2 o'clock kick you might see on the Liberty website, the AFL website. It still says 1 o'clock, and I think that's from originally when that game was going to happen.
Right.
This game kind of got rescheduled. Now it's 2 o'clock in Dodge City. So, as I said, we'll have that for you on KINA pregame with Coach O and his pregame interview at 1:30 on 910 AM, also 107.5 FM and 910KINA.com as we go to Dodge City with the team on Sunday. The rest of the schedule, Roy, how does that look for you right now? What do you know? What can you tell us?
Okay, as of today, just about 3 o'clock this afternoon, we had a owner's call, and we went through the schedule, and it looks like everything except week 8 is what we're having a difficult time with, because 4 teams in the league have home games, and they need those, and we're going to circle back around to that. But as of right now, the Salina Liberty will play this weekend out in Southwest. Next weekend we will host Washington here, and the following weekend is, again, that's the one that is up in there.
That'd be June 15th, right?
Yes, with either Wichita or going to Albany.
Okay.
We're trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And then the following weekend will be at home against, I know the last game against Billy, the 29th.
Okay.
And the one before that is West Texas is coming to Salina.
Okay.
Yep. And that is set in stone.
Yeah, and from the outside looking in, people may not understand how difficult this is, but it is a ton of moving pieces. Just arena schedules, things like that, because there are other activities going on in these arenas, concerts and things of that nature. Also, you want to make sure that everybody gets the amount of home games that they need, right? Because that's how you guys make some revenues, is ticket sales, having fans in the stands. So you want to make sure that you don't abandon all of your home games. And also just the fact that this wasn't a league thing that kind of threw the schedule into a conundrum, too. You talked about June 15th and the potential trip to Wichita. That was a weather-related reschedule. I mean, that's a game that we still owe them probably somewhere down the line. So how many moving parts are there exactly? Do you have any idea?
Well, there's several.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, there was games thrown on Thursday due to the deal we were supposed to have with NFL Network. There were some on Sunday, some on Monday, and those people had their arena set. And when the dominoes fell, now we're all shuffling to try to find the right day to fit everybody in. And as I said before, I think we got most of it done in 1 week. And, that's a significant move from what we thought we'd be at this point. But we're going to circle back around, and it will work for everybody, and everybody's going to get the games they deserve. And that's what Jeff Fisher and everybody that's been involved in Nashville, and these calls have been great.
Anything else league-wide that you want to put out there or get out there right now that you've learned in the last week or so?
Only thing is that, the commissioner is very happy with what he sees, the production of all the games. He's watched every one of them. He's listened to every voice. He's watched the officials. He's complimented every single team's home game. And he loves what he sees because everybody's been professional. And, that's what we're supposed to be. And with everything going on, all the chaos, looks like everybody is working together to try to salvage what we have. And that's a plus.
Yeah.
So, that's about all we've talked about today.
Okay, I'm going to flip the page on you here a little bit, Roy. What do you think? What are your opinions about the product on the field right now? When you sit there and you're on your seat there at the end wall on the end zone side there, what are you seeing right now when you look at this Liberty team? They had a pretty good showing on Saturday, didn't they?
We did, and I would tell you, Coach O and his staff always makes adjustments, and we're moving pieces all the time, which good coaches do.
Yeah.
And, we'll allow him to shop for the groceries he's going to cook. And he knows what he's doing. So, obviously, we wouldn't be where we are if he didn't know what he was doing. But I think our talent-wise, we're right up there with the big boys. And I think we're going to be a contender for the championship down the stretch.
How do you see the league right now when you just kind of look at everybody under an umbrella? Obviously, Albany and Billings, they have the shiny records. They're both undefeated still, but I think there's some good teams in the kind of the next tier. I think you have to count Salina as one. You got to look at West Texas probably. What's your opinion on that?
That is absolutely right. Everybody's in the running, because on any given day, anybody can lose. And we saw that, the great game on Friday night.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That Albany and I think it was West Texas.
Yep. Yeah.
Boy, what a turnaround of events.
And how about the Orlando-Nashville game on Saturday night? They were going on the same time we were, but I couldn't help but to watch that over here on this tablet too. It was incredible as well. And I think when you look at things off the field, the product on the field right now is pretty good. It's pretty darn competitive. You know, we're talking about a team with Southwest Kansas that's 2-3. They got a 4-foot win in there, but we know what they're capable of given their first meeting here and a 3-point game with the Liberty. They're always capable as well and very good coached.
And, you know, as things have gone along here, some teams have changed personnel just like we have.
Yeah.
And some have kept the same personnel, but, you know, as time goes along and the games are played, everybody gets to know everybody because you watch film, you talk to other coaches, you coach knows these players, they know his players, but you have to always bring your A game. And especially if you are a champion, you're always going to have that spotlight on your back, that big X on your back saying, hey, we got to go get them. And right now, Salina, I think, has that because they think we're a small market team. I think we're going to compete when it comes down to it, and then we'll be there competing.
Has there been anything said? Has there been conversations in the league calls about a potential playoff format yet?
We have discussed it, and, you know, actually we haven't actually decided on which format we're going to go with. You know, we've talked about 4-man, 4-team, 5-team, and 6-team. That's basically it. We haven't given any more thought than that. And that decision will be made here on the next call next week.
Okay.
So we can start looking forward to what we need to do and start securing arenas and everything like that.
From what I understand, and just kind of talking with you in passing, correct me if I'm wrong here, the notion of having playoff games or a championship game at a neutral site has gone out the window. Is that correct, or is that maybe still in play?
As of right now, that is correct.
Okay.
You know, we're talking about top seeds and, you know, like I said, there's not very much we went into detail about, so I can't give you anything that I don't know. But believe me, when it comes down to it, we're probably going to go back to the way we did it in the CIF, where the top seed has a place, and in the future, look down the road to where it's able to be hosted at a neutral site.
Yeah. Like Kansas City would be good, wouldn't it?
It'd be anywhere, you know, close to us.
Hey, it's as central as you get. Salina's pretty central, though,
it
too.
Is.
I just wanted to catch up with you. Like I said, get an update on the league. I know there's a lot of questions, some speculation out there floating around, but I think people and fans are kind of morphing into being the more understanding and seeing what's next. And also, as you said, it seems like a group effort, and that group is growing every single day of people that are pitching in for success.
Yes.
So I think we're in a good spot right now. We'll keep forging ahead. That will start Sunday with our next game in Dodge City after a 54-25 victory against Wichita. Coach O and the guys will go to Dodge City to play the Southwest Kansas Storm coming up on Sunday. It's the 2 o'clock kick. We'll have it for you right on KINA, 910 AM, 107.5 FM. Also, if you want to listen online, it's 910KINA.com, as we will have Liberty football on the airwaves. Roy, big thanks to you, buddy. I always appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again, if not next week, in a couple of weeks. That does it for the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. Another edition. I want to thank you for joining us. You can watch it on demand all the time on Salina Post on YouTube. Brought to you by the Salina Medical Aesthetics and the Salina Pain Clinic. We'll do it all again Tuesday. Go Liberty as they travel to Dodge City coming up this Sunday.